Hello, I just realized something. You know, I I've always known that the sun is hell, but not in a bad way, okay? The sun is, I wrote about that. As some of you knows. Some of you know that I wrote about the hell, right? But what I came to realize is that, I've been seeing signs that Lyme is heaven in the form of, for example, margarita, which is a drink which means pearl. Margarita comes from Margaret, which means pearl. And there's been many depictions of margarita being served in heaven. It sounds funny when I say like that, but so and the pearl is made of limestone. Okay, so that's where it's lime. Lime is related to heaven, which is something that I always kind of knew about. Like lime is something that relates to heaven and hell, and it's somehow like male versus female or male and female, right? So hell is the male, heaven is the female, something like that, right? Uh, mm, I'm drinking some tea here. But now finally I made the connection and I've seen it. I've seen it with my own eyes now as I look into into Crete. Crete, um, an island that belongs to Greece in the Mediterranean Sea. I found Limenes and Limen which in Greece, in Old Greek, the Limen means haven. So finally, we have the connection between lime and heaven. It's literally there. That lime is an expression of heaven, and that's why it's the. I've been saying also that lime is the church, and the light goes into that church. Okay. So heaven is a church where light comes into it from hell. So this is, I'm like 100% sure of this. Um, and you can imagine, some people say that heaven is like crystals or like it's beautiful, right? And why? And I can just imagine it because the light from hell lights up the crystals because, limestone, calcite, aragonite, a mix of white, red colors, I don't know, and refraction, reflections in some sense. And of course, I can imagine it in a sense because I know what this is about, right? So the light goes there into that church of heaven, being lime. And that's the two into one. The two into one and the metamorphosis is that event. And I just understand it because I always saw, no, I always knew that there is a dualism, and I never really got to. I could always show the dualism with the male versus female because the lime is a part of an eye. You could say also the eye is filled with lime, But now, literally, lime is the haven. Lime is the haven, and the sun is the hell, the Helios, the helium. It comes from there, right? So I'm very happy about having this etymological connection on its place now. It's finally there, and uh, it's funny that I didn't see it before, right? It's always funny with these things, but you know, I always knew. So what's the problem, right? So Philosopher's Stone is can be seen as heaven itself. Okay, the Philosopher's Stone is heaven, and this is why at the pearly gates of heaven you see Peter, because Peter means stone, and stone is the Philosopher's Stone, and that's somehow related to the pineal gland also, right? Which is something that I'm not going to talk about in this video. I'm just saying that it's all connecting perfectly. Everything is perfect when it comes to this. Every little piece of this puzzle is beautiful and perfect. And it's the core of reality. I've always told you that the Philosopher's Stone and the light from hell is the core of reality. And it is these are the two keys. Um, right. And that's why you have key lime, the fruit key lime, and so on and so on. Entire reality is saying the same message, almost as if there is a church, and in that church people are singing, or there is a song, there is a choir, and this choir is singing the creation or singing the the events of this world together, because it's so elementary to reality. These these concepts, it's so basic. I keep finding it, and you know, when I found it from the start, note, you know, I've been having them like this next to each other. I didn't have this text. I have it like that, right? But it is hell and heaven. Heaven is the crystal where it is, but it needs the light to be able to be radiant. It needs to be radiant, so it needs the light to be radiant, which is, yeah. So okay, okay. So there's so much to say about this subject, and as you know, it's like endless subject to talk about. And but now finally the connection is clear, and it's there that Lehman is an expression of heaven. And this is definitely not a way to tell you that, okay, this is a new kind of perspective where both hell and heaven has a place, right? And so I mean, both of these concepts and ideas have been not understood, and I can understand it through language itself, through words, right? It's obvious what all of this means to me. Um, and yeah, so I'm very happy to finally be able to say that, okay, this is hell, which I always knew, but finally, okay, sure, this is heaven, okay? And together they are two into one, and that's the uh, meiosis. That's the, I mean, because it's male and female in a sense. So um, there's a fertilization, you could say, new life, right? Something like that. The end becomes a beginning, and I mean, the only way that the end is a beginning is that there is a metamorphosis and a change of state, which means fertilization process in a giant being, you could say, a giant being, and we experience this fertilization on another plane because we are living in another dimension, you could say, the dimension within the beings or being. And so it's very obvious what's going on here. And as I said, it's like there is a choir singing these concepts into reality. You know, it's like it's so perfect. And I will eventually write about this. I haven't decided what I should write about, but you know, this is the church subject of light plus yeah. Um, so okay, so that's it, guys. Very happy to be able to find this connection, right? That Greek Lehman is a haven. Okay, so very good, very good, very good stuff. Okay, bye bye.